So I typically hate the type of food that I'm gonna be freeze drying today, but I'm hopeful that the recipe that I'm gonna be making can change my mind. The food that I'm talking about are freeze dried desserts and sweet treats. Don't get me wrong, I love freeze dried candy. But when it comes to like freeze dried ice cream, other goodies that are intended to be like a freeze dried dessert, I don't usually like. I just prefer those desserts to be eaten in their true form because I love them that way. But I came across this recipe when I was doing some research and just knew I had to give it a try. So we're gonna see how this goes. I needed to start with getting 1 cup of water boiling. And now I need to cut up about 1.5 cups of strawberries. And for these, I'm gonna chop them up into a very small dice. I don't think I told you what I'm making yet. Have you ever had a strawberry pretzel Jello salad? If you haven't, it's delicious. And I thought we could turn this into like a little freeze-dried bite-sized treat that I'm hoping tastes delicious. But again, I don't know, because a lot of times I find the texture of freeze-dried goodies like that off-putting. So that's why I'm doing this test for you to see if it actually turns out good. And if it does, then you'll need to make it too. Here's about the size of the dice on my strawberries. I got 1.5 cups of chopped up strawberries. And now we're gonna mix up the Jello part. My store only had the family size packet of Jello in the strawberry flavor. And I'm not making a double batch, so based on my recipe, I'm gonna use half of this and add 1 cup of boiling water to it. The ingredients on there says to add 2 cups. I'm gonna pour half and do 1 cup. Hopefully that all works out just fine. Typically when you make a Jello salad like this, you would layer it. You would have the pretzel crust on the bottom and then the like cream cheese filling in the middle and the strawberry Jello part on top. But for this, we are just going to mix everything together for freeze drying. I think that's just gonna be the best way to do it. You're still gonna get all the yummy flavors, but it's not gonna be layered. All right, that feels like half. I'm gonna add my cup of boiling water and just get to stirring. Once it's dissolved, we're gonna add 1/2 cup of cold water. I'm gonna let this start to cool down a little bit and then I'm gonna add my strawberries directly into the Jello mixture. I don't need this to fully set up because we're gonna be mixing it all together with the cream cheese filling, but I want it to start to set up a little bit. So we're just gonna put this to the side. The creamy mixture is just a container of Cool Whip, thawed. You could probably do this with homemade whipped cream, which I'm sure would be good. I'm just going by the recipe. A brick of cream cheese, softened, and 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm gonna get out my hand mixer. Let's whip this up without making a huge mess, hopefully. I put my Jello in the fridge to help cool off a little bit faster. I feel like I'm using so many dishes, which annoys me. Hopefully it's gonna be all worth it. I am now taking some pretzels. Normally you would like grind up your pretzels, crush them up, mix them with melted butter and some sugar, and make it into like a crust. Because I'm just mixing all of the components together, I'm skipping the step where you add the butter and sugar for making a crust. I am just going to break the pretzels up into small little bits. Like, you could break these up by hand, but I feel like it's gonna be easier to do in a blender like this. I don't want them to be a fine powder. I still want them to have shape to the pretzels, but just broken down a lot. So we'll see. If this breaks them up too much, I'll do it by hand. We want to end up with about 2 cups. So I'm just gonna try to see how much this ended up making. You can see the shape of these right here, which I think that looks perfect. Okay, I need about half cup more. We had the craziest storm last night. It's been very hot, which, shocker, it's been hot in Arizona. I kind of sound like a broken record. When I'm in Alaska, I talk about how cold it is in the winter time. Here, you're gonna hear about how hot it is. We've been surviving, but we have had a few monsoon storms, which is like our saving grace in the summertime. There's nothing that beats the feeling of a monsoon rolling in the evening after a really hot day, and you just get to enjoy like lightning, thunder, rain. I love it. Last night it came in pretty late when my kids were already in bed and it was loud and kids couldn't sleep. I'll show you some of the damage caused by this storm yesterday that I need to go take care of in my yard. So once we get this all sorted out, we're gonna go do that together. While I'm waiting for the Jello to cool off, I can at least start getting my trays ready. And I am using an accessory today that I was gonna get rid of because I hardly ever use it, but it is great for freeze-dried desserts. My silicone tray molds. These are the ones from Harvest Right. Now, people suggest when you use these, typically it's better practice. You know me, I'm always taking the shortcuts. Better practice to get all of your food in your tray molds, freeze it, take it out of the freezer, and then pop out each individual like little Jello bite or whatever you have in here, and then stick them on your trays and freeze dry them that way. Sometimes, depending on the texture of how the food turns when you freeze dry it, when you try to pop them out of here, they might shrivel up and break on you. But I'm hoping these end up sturdy enough that that's not gonna be a problem. Another thing that we're just gonna find out together. These are the molds that come just directly from Harvest Right. They're pretty expensive and I don't hardly ever use them. That's why I don't suggest these as like a must-have freeze dryer accessory if you're trying to figure out what accessories are like worth it, because they can be very expensive. So these, I would say no, unless you are someone who likes to make things like this. And I mean, if these turn out great, maybe I'm gonna be making a lot more and I'll get more use out of these. So we will see. My Jello has cooled down enough to where it's not scalding. So I'm gonna start just mixing everything together and then I'm gonna get it into my molds. I mean, how could this not be good? Tastes so good. But I mean, I know that this in and of itself is delicious. It's more the experiment of if it's still good once it's freeze dried. How am I gonna get this on my molds without making a ginormous mess? No idea. So my thought is to just start scooping it out and kind of pouring it on and then spreading it around. I don't know if I'll have enough to fill up every single opening, but I at least want to get some on each tray just so that we have a more even freeze drying surface. Okay, here's how this looks up close. It's not perfect, but I think it'll do. Some of the cups aren't completely filled, but that's fine. I tried to just spread them out as evenly as possible. I need to clean up the sides of my trays a little bit. I'm making a mess. I did remember to bring out my tray lid so I could carry these to my freeze drying studio all in one run, which is great. So I just noticed as I'm walking out to my freeze dryer studio, over like in the street in front of my house, when I drove my kids to school this morning, there was what looked like to be a dead kitten on the side of the road, just on our dirt road that we live on. I don't know who this cat belongs to or if it was just like a stray cat. It was very sad because it looked really cute. It almost looked like it was just sleeping, but I'm like, okay, there's no way the cat's just sleeping. I don't know if you can see it, but there's probably 7 of these big vulture birds over there that I think are partaking in the cat. At first I was like, did my neighbors get turkeys? But no, those are these like giant vultures that kind of fly around in the area, obviously on the hunt for things to eat, but it's so sad. And I don't know what to do with it, because if it was like one of my neighbor's cats, I figured that they would notice it and take care of it. So I don't know where this poor kitty came from, but now it seems that the circle of life is running its course. I am struggling getting my Wi-Fi connected in here, and it's really bugging me. It, for some reason, is just not connecting to my internet, and I don't think it's a this problem. I think it's a my internet problem, because this is like on the opposite side of our property from where our Starlink is, so I think it's just not reaching it well. I'm gonna get like a booster or something. For my settings, I am gonna do an extra freeze time of 1 hour, -10 degrees for freeze temp. Dry temp is at 120, and my extra dry time is always set to like 10 hours, somewhere around there. And good news, my air conditioner is still holding up. It hasn't gone out on me yet. I'm hoping that it gives me a few more freeze dryer runs before it needs to be replaced, or we find someone else who can take a look at it. I don't know, but so far we're doing okay. All right, we got 15 minutes before we can load up my trays. I'm gonna go take care of those branches that have fallen into my yard. Let me go show you what I'm talking about. I'm about to get real sweaty because I think it's like 105 out there. It's actually not terrible. Always the morning after a monsoon storm, it's like more humid and the temperature's a little bit lower. I should look on my phone and see what the degrees actually are. But I feel like it could definitely be worse. Oh, I don't like what I'm seeing over there with those vultures. I don't know exactly if they're vultures or what kind of birds they are. I won't bring you close because I don't want to show any gruesomeness of the kitty, but it's not good. So I'm actually in luck because where the tree branch fell, it's under the shade of the tree. It's technically my neighbor's tree, but since it's on my property, it's technically my problem now, right? I don't feel comfortable just tossing it back over the fence to them. I've got room in my trash can. So I'm gonna see if I can fit it in. I should have my kids come out here after school and clean up all this just little debris that's everywhere. Like there's tons of sticks and stuff. I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes, so I'm gonna go get me some bug spray. Well, I'm officially sweaty, but I think we got it good enough. I mean, hopefully the trash man won't be mad about this sticking out, but it was too thick for me to cut. Okay, now my legs feel very itchy. I'm sure I just got eaten by a million mosquitoes. Such is life. Let's go head back to the freeze tray studio and load up our strawberry pretzel Jello salad bites. Is that what we're calling it? I guess so. I'm afraid to see what I look like, how sweaty I am. Whew! We can definitely get these loaded up now. Okay, that's done. What else do I need to do? I don't even know. I know this weekend we have irrigation at 5:30 a.m. I've been lucky, my last 2 time slots have just been during the day, so it's been easy. But now on a Saturday morning, I gotta wake up at 5:30. Not ideal, but it is what it is. I will catch y'all tomorrow. If you haven't heard, during the month of August, I have a discount code with Harvest Right. I'll have that here on the screen and in the video description below. If you buy a freeze dryer, you can get an extra $100 off using my discount code, which is amazing. Let me know if you got any questions. Really can't wait to see how these turn out. I have high hopes. I'm hoping that I can be changed on my stances on freeze-dried desserts. We will see. These ran for about 24 hours and they are ready to come out. It's the moment of truth. Let's see how these turned out. Here is how they look up close. We gotta try to pop some of these out and see. They feel like they're gonna hold their shape, but we will see. All right, I gotta pop one of these out. I'm pretty impressed with how easily it came out. It held its shape. Let's see how it tastes. Oh my gosh, that was so good. They're not coming out of the mold perfectly, but decently. That is so good. What I think sets this apart from other freeze-dried desserts like ice cream is it's not giving me that like chalky, dry, powdery texture when I eat it. A lot of times the other ones like bothers my teeth when I bite it because I have sensitive teeth and I don't like that feeling of biting the freeze-dried like ice cream and stuff. And I don't like the powdery, dry texture usually. This one, I don't know if it's just because the flavors are so good. The strawberry flavor is like so delicious. It doesn't have that like bad crunch that I normally don't like. This one, it just feels more soft as you eat it. I don't really know how to explain it. Okay, do we try one more just to be sure? I think so. Here we go. It's so good. They're not like the most beautiful things ever, but they taste good. This is one I'm gonna suggest you make, and you have to tell me if you like it as much as I do. Are there any other freeze-dried treats that I'm missing out on because I've been avoiding them because I thought I didn't like them? If you got any that you love, drop them down in the comments below because I'd love more ideas. I'm gonna just pop these out into a Mylar bag. I mean, I'm not gonna like put oxygen absorbers in this bag. I'm just gonna let my family snack on these tonight because I'm sure they'll be gone really fast. But if you wanted them for long-term storage, you could throw in oxygen absorbers. You could put them in a mason jar and vacuum seal the top. If I had a big enough one to hold all of these, that's what I would do, is stick them in a mason jar. But I'm just gonna bring these inside to share with everyone tonight. So this here is why it is better to pre-freeze these cubes and then pop them onto your tray once they're already frozen, because then you won't get this big old mess left behind and they'll be in much nicer, neater squares. Especially if you were gonna like give these to somebody, don't do it this way because this is a mess. However, they are yummy enough to give away. I would just make sure that you pre-freeze them and then take them out of the silicone liners before you freeze dry them. But, cause see, they're just like not perfect little squares. But for just like your immediate family, it's fine. They don't care about presentation, they just care about taste. Well, it's boring watching me package these up, so I am gonna get this done, and then I got a whole bunch of mom duties going on tonight. As always, I wanna thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Hype this video if you have the hype option. I think you only get to hype if you are on a cell phone. It'll be after you like it, it'll give you an option to hype. That helps my channel, it helps me reach new people. So thank you if you're able to do that. You guys really are the best. I am a mess. Remember, when you freeze dry today, you secure your tomorrow. Bye, friends.